yeah. Gone on you with the pick and roll. Younger flame, he in sicko mode.
Now then, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be painting my roll cage and the interior of my track GTI. So in terms of paint, what I've got is I've got acid green colour match paint. Just got this off a website. Now it is VHT paint, which is very high temperature, and the reason for that is I'm going to be doing my calipers the same colour as well as the roll cage. There wasn't an option to get it in not the VHT, but it does the same job. I've done a little test patch and it's come out decent. I mean, it looks a little bit, it's a bit patchy because I've only done a light coat on it, but as long as it comes out a good colour, I'll be happy. And then for everything else, I've just got some cheap white gloss paint. Now it's not the best stuff, but I've got a load of cans, we'll lay it on thick. You see all this has had to be wire wheeled because everything we're covered in sound deadening. So give everything a nice lick of white paint and then it'll all look fresh. So one of the first things that I'm going to do to start prepping for paint is trying to remove all the old black paint that's on it. I don't know if you can see it with the dark. You can see that I've started sanding it off there and it's fully black here. Reason for this is it's a bit rough and it's off in some edges and it'd just be nice to have a fresh start on it. So this is where I've started removing it. I'm just using a wire wheel and it's just taking it all off really well. So I'm going to fire over it all with a wire wheel, get it all removed, back to bare metal. So I've made a good start. You can see I'm getting majority of the paint off, getting it back to metal. There's a few odd bits I'm going to go over it with the sandpaper in the end, make sure it's all nice and smooth. Obviously there are parts right up towards the roof that I'm just not going to be able to get to, so I'm going to leave them. I think I'm going to end up painting the full roof as well actually. So I've got a fair bit more to do, but it's a little update. We're making progress. Wire wheels are actually lethal. It's just twatted me in the lip. Hurt that. Do you think I got my money's worth out of that wire wheel? Look at the state of it. There's no left. Fucking hell. Basically the roll cage is that tight to the roof. Can't even pull the wires through now. So I have to like loosen them off and try to push them through individually. Right, so that's all the work with the wire wheel now done. Pretty much most of the paint's off. Obviously in some tricky areas we've still got some on it. But we're going to go over now with the sandpaper and get everything else off. Make sure they're all nice and smooth, and where there is paint, we'll basically just blend it in with the sandpaper. So this little lip here, for example, we'll just go over with the sandpaper, get it nice and smooth, blend it in, and then we're ready to mask off and actually paint. So all the cars hoovered out, all the roll cages wiped down with panel wipes. Ready to start masking now. What a nightmare job it is to mask up a roll cage. So I've got majority of the front done. Obviously I'm going to paint the inside white afterwards as well, so I'm not too fussed about the green going in places, but I've masked up a fair bit just to save any hassle when it comes to having to get the green sanded back. But we're all masked up now and ready to paint. coat number 1. Finding it quite hard to get good coverage in some of these areas, especially in like places like down the front where it's hard to get to. But it's going on nice. 20 to 3 in the morning. Just got the first coat on. We'll probably have enough paint to do 3 coats, but I think that should cover it, to say that one's got it this green already. That's the second coat done now. Really starting to look green in here. Getting some good coverage. There isn't really many areas left that need a lot of work doing. Can actually get quite up close in all the little nooks and crannies right up in the top corner. Starting to look really good now. There's a few bits on these that I've missed actually. Now I can see they're a bit faint. It's just turned 4 AM. I feel battered. So I've got one more coat to do and then that's the colour down, and then tomorrow we'll lacquer it. Next day now, everything's dried and the coverage looks really, really good. I'm pleased with all this. I did have a little worry last night thinking that I wasn't going to get in all the areas, but everything seems to be really covered. Colour looks good, it's bright. I'm very pleased that I did decide to take all the paint off, because we've got some very slight reaction just in the areas down the sides where we can't get right to. Thinking back, I probably should have sanded all the paint off before I welded it all in, but we live and learn. So base colour's nice, now we're going to get some lacquer on. So I just got clear lacquer from Halfords, 2 500ml cans. Just going to do 2 coats, dust coats, and see what it looks like. It's not the best lacquer, but I'll do the job. That is fuming. Whoa. Okay, now that's the second coat done. One more coat and that's all the lacquer finished. Definitely a good job I put this newspaper down here. Look at the state of that. All this lot's going to get sanded back anyway before I paint it all white, but I'm glad we put that down. We've used the Halfords lacquer and it's not the best. It doesn't really shine that well, but with 3 big coats on, you can definitely see that it's a lot glossier than it was before. Removed all the masking now and it is looking mint. I've just had the thinners on all the little trims at the back because I didn't end up masking this off, but this was all green a minute ago and now it's all come straight off. That's going to be good for us when we come to prepping it, because there's still all these little black bits to get off, sorry. It's all the residue from the sound deadening all over there. There's some prep work to do before I paint all the back white, but that's going to start tomorrow. Just quickly show you a little overview. All those sheets did a mint job of protecting everything. Obviously down there we've got some overspray, but that's not a worry because that's going to get hidden by carpet anyway. If not, we'll paint it white. So plan is probably going to paint up to around the back of here. Maybe we'll go to about here. Actually thinking about it, we'll cover these or just clean it all anyway. Carpet's going to come to about here somewhere. Everything else is going to be white. Going to mask all the roll cage up tomorrow and we'll start prepping for that. Another day then, we're back down, and tonight we're going to make a start on painting all the inside of the car white. So roll cage is all dried. I've given it 2 full days to dry. It's all cured nice. Nice shine on it, to be fair. From a little rattle can DIY job, that's come out really well. Pleased with that. So the aim of tonight then is all the prep work and get the white on this car. We're going to do all the boot, so all these trims need to come off. Everything needs masking up. Everything needs sanding back, scotching up. Probably going to do the roof as well, so I think we need to get these off because as you can see there, where I've tested it, the paint doesn't stick very well to that. Not sure if we'll do down the door pillars, probably not because I can't be arsed with it. I think we'll probably just come to about here. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, that's it, that's what we're doing tonight, prep work. So in preparation I've got these scouring pads. I think we're just going to scotch it all up, just make sure there's no grease and that on it. I can't really be arsed going over the top trying to clean everything up. But we're just going to give it best shot, rub that green off and rub this green off. Just make sure there's no dirt and stuff on it. Overall, there's not really a lot to do. It's just going to be masking the roll cage off and masking off the car. That's going to be the biggest job. So, well, let's get started. Progress update. This is a very tedious job. The roof bits and all the corners are the hardest, like getting all this masked off here. We're going alright. Probably another hour and we'll be done. What an awful job that is then. Full roll cage masked up. That is the whole roll cage now masked up. Absolute nightmare of a job, to be fair. But we got there in the end. Hopefully. I've left these at the bottom. I've just gone round the top of the weld and we're going to paint these boxes white, and obviously all the rest of it's going white anyway. Like I said, going to paint up to about here. Everything else needs masking off inside the car. The next job I want to do though is try and get all these black strips off. They hold like a cardboard template to the roof to stop it from like vibrating, but it's not needed. Probably for sound deadening or something, to be fair, but the paint doesn't really take to these that well, so I'm going to try get the wire wheel on and try get them off, see what happens. I'm fucking scared to do this move. Yeah man, it works good innit? So I'm gonna carry on and then we'll show you when it's done, yeah? Nice. So that's all the residue off the roof now. Managed to get the wire wheel in and just clean it all off. That's going to give the paint something to stick to now. It's just bare metal. Obviously all the roll cage is masked up. Now all we've got to do, prep all the area for paint. We're just cleaning it off, hoovering everything. I think we're going to mask off all the rest of the car, just all the way along. Just make sure no overspray gets anywhere. And then we'll paint everything inside the car. So that's majority of the back now prepped, especially all the sides. Might have gone overkill, might not, I don't really know what's going to happen. Obviously we're going to paint to about there, and then we're just going to paint to the front of this roof, because all this is alright, so we're just going to paint to there. Just going to run a sheet probably down along here. So that's what we're going to do. Who knows, this is the update. Finally, hours later, after a lot of help from these divs, finally got everything masked up. But I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see painting it white, but I'm going to get a time lapse now. Well, we're starting to get some good coverage now. A few more coats and we should be on our way to a full white interior. Oh, big representer. Is it on the back as well? Look at that. Look at the state of you. It is bare fuming in here. We're having a breather. We're almost finished. I'll show you when it's done. So that's all the base coat down. Everything's white. Like I said, just gone up to there. Carpet's going to cover the rest. As for the roof, gone up to the front. To be fair, the roof could have done with a bit more, but end of the day, you're not really going to pay that much attention to it, so like it matters that much. Far better than it was before. All that sound deadening everywhere. Had to scrape it all off, had to get the wire wheel out. Ended up with pretty much no paint in the back of the car. Nice to have it all one colour. So last night we got all the interior of the car painted white. Tonight's job, get it lacquered, and then that's the job finished. Gonna make a start, get everything lacquered, just do it till we run out of lacquer. Obviously the majority of what we're using is just cheap rattle cans, so I'm not expecting any kind of like factory finish. We're not using any paint guns or base coat, any of that stuff. I just want it white and green basically. As long as it looks that colour, I'll be happy, but to get a decent finish is just a bonus. But to be fair, finish has come out alright so far, so I'm quite pleased with that. There's a few minor imperfections, but it is what it is. Managing. Right, so after 4 nights of painting, we've finally got everything done now. Roll cage is done and lacquered, inside of the car's done and lacquered. Now it's just a case of taking all the masking tape off. We'll get some clips of it. So all the outside of the car unmasked, just the roll cage left to do. We're going to give the lacquer a bit more time to set, and then we're going to do all the roll cage. We've also just painted the base plates white at the front, both sides, because we left them green. So they're all done. Just going to give the lacquer another 20 minutes to dry, and then we're going to unmask this roll cage. That's everything completely done. All the interior painted white, roll cage painted Porsche acid green. I was going to put all the car back together, but I've decided just going to wait until it's fully cured. There's no point rushing into it. The roll cage looks proper green on the camera, I'm not really sure why. It just looks like lime green. Roof probably could have done with a bit more paint, but we didn't have any more, so we just focused on all the floor, make sure that's completely covered, all lacquered up. Fair, looks decent. So that's the finished product. Right, so that's everything completely done now. Roll cage and the interior completely painted, all lacquered. Really pleased how it turned out. The only one part that we could have done better with is the roof, but the reason for that is we've run out of paint, and then we just decided that we're better off focusing on the floor rather than the roof, because that's what you see more of. The only thing I'd really change if I was to do this again was get more paint and be prepared really with more paint, because we did run out and we could have done with a bit more. But that's it. Other than that, everything went really well. Spent a load of time masking stuff off, and as everyone knows, in terms of painting, preparation is key, and the prep work proved that we've got a nice paint job now. The lighting in here is really weird, so the colour seems to be changing. Like one time I look at it and it's like bogey green, and like now I'm looking at it and it looks proper acidy yellow like it's meant to be. I'm not going to bother putting all the car back together now, because there's no point. I may as well let everything cure. I've got all the door seals and all the carpet and dash and everything to put back together, and we'll probably do that in the next video. So that's it for now. Cheers for watching. I'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit. See you in a bit.